Hi, I'm Andrew Fallon, and this is a very special 3 and Out episode. Whether you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, watching on YouTube, or listening on the Raider 88.1, we have a very, very special interview for you guys. We have star right back Macy Blackburn. She was hurt last year, but was on the all Big 12 freshman team in 2021. And after finishing in the top 10 of the Big 12 in assists, and this year she had a 3-assist game against Ball State, becoming one of only 3 Red Raiders to do so. Without further ado, here's Macy Blackburn. All right, Macy, how are you doing? How's the season been?
I'm good. Season's been great.
How's I mean, you're redshirt sophomore, junior, whatever you want to call it. How's that been? Like, just, trying to just get that going.
It's been good. I mean, obviously I redshirted this past season, so I came back towards the very, very end of the season. So I just wasn't quite ready enough last season to come back. So I ended up taking my redshirt year. So I was back in the spring. So I was lucky to be able to have the spring kind of just to get, soccer under my belt and all of that to be ready for season. But it's been good. It's been great. Like, we have an incredible staff, and obviously Matt, our trainer, is amazing. So he's always on top of everything with just recovery and just staying on top of, my knee and making sure my body's ready to be able to compete.
Yeah, and just kind of going off of that, I mean, your season was plagued with that knee injury last year. And so, like, what's something that, like, you had to keep kind of telling yourself to keep, like, that, good mindset?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was really hard. I mean, having an injury that, takes away the thing that you love so much. I was really lucky that, I had such an amazing friends, family, and, that, I don't find my identity in my sport. I find it in my faith, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So having that honestly really helped me get through it. And like I said, just our incredible support staff. I try to keep reminding myself that, this is just a part of life and it's a part of sports. I risk myself and my body every time I go out on the field. So just, knowing that that's a risk I have to take, it definitely was hard, but just knowing that it's not forever and that I more tried to take the good out of my situation than the bad. It's so easy to look at the negative, and especially it being during the fall. It was definitely hard, but I just took it more like, what kind of teammate I can be? How can I grow kind of off the field and, grow in those areas of my game? So I'm honestly, it was obviously a terrible situation, but I'm grateful for it in a lot of ways, because I think it just grew me as, a teammate, a player, all those things.
And how has your coach, Tom Stone, just kind of been involved in that rehab process with you?
I mean, Tom is great. He was literally ran on the field when I got hurt and was really there every step of the way. And he pretty much told me straight up that it was my decision on when I could come back, and that he wanted me to feel comfortable and all of that. And, he just really cared about how my body was and how I was. He was great and let me still travel with the team and be there, which that doesn't always happen. So it was really special. And, he was really great through all of it and was by my side and constantly checking in on me and just, kind of being that voice of positivity that you kind of need when you're going through, the valley and going through hard situations like that.
Yeah, that's totally great. He was there for you. And do you think your prior experience in high school or club soccer kind of like prepare you for like a possibility that you could get hurt?
Honestly, this was my first big injury. I was never really injured in club or in high school or anything like that. So it was definitely a learning curve for me. I've never really been taken out of soccer before. I've always played or always been able to play. So it was definitely different. Obviously, I've seen it from my teammates, friends, all those things. You hear about it and you're like, oh, that sucks. But, that's never going to happen to me. And then it does happen. So it definitely was a big learning curve. I'm grateful it happened when it did, where it was in my life. it not being my freshman year in a way. Like I was a sophomore, I was a little bit more kind of grown into the team, kind of grown into myself, a little bit more mature. So I felt like I was really grateful for that because I was, a little bit more secure in who I was and in my soccer. So I kind of knew how to do it, but it was definitely a new thing for me. So that was kind of my first time really ever getting hurt like that. So that was a learning curve for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And just on a like generality, like how did high school and club soccer kind of prepare you for playing at Texas Tech?
So actually I didn't play high school soccer. I was when my age group came to me going to high school, there was this thing called DA, which is called Development Academy. Long story short, you signed a contract, you weren't able to play high school soccer, which I wasn't too mad about because I was really, really close with my club team. And we traveled so much and there was already so much soccer. So I wasn't necessarily too upset about it. But I had an incredible club team. I played for Solar Soccer Club. I played with them since I was in the fourth grade up until graduation. And I honestly was on the most amazing club team ever. We were very competitive. We honestly, it was like a once in a lifetime club team. We ended up winning 3 national championships, which like is crazy, doesn't happen. And, I just had I think almost every single girl that was on my team is at like a big Power 5 D1 school, which, you don't hear that a lot either. So from a really young age, I was on a really competitive team with girls and people who, wanted to go to that next level and wanted to play college soccer and wanted to compete and wanted, to win. So that was really good for me coming from a club team like that. But I mean, at the end of the day, college is a different level. And I don't know if anything can ever fully prepare you for it. Like, obviously, I think I probably had the best situation possible. But I think, too, you just have to go into college more with the mentality like, it's not going to be the same. I don't have a starting spot going into college. Like, I got to work for it. I got to grind for it. I have to show myself out to all these new coaches. So, I mean, I definitely think I was very blessed and had an awesome club team. And so it definitely prepared me. But, at the end of the day, you could be on the best club team ever and get to college. But if you don't earn your spot and you don't compete and you're not a good teammate and all these things, it kind of doesn't really matter.
Yeah, no, those are definitely the best kind of situations to be in. And you also were on the U17 women's national team and the U20 training camp. So like, just what were those experiences like as well?
Yeah, I mean, national team is that's even a completely different level. I mean, those are the best players in the whole country, coming together. It was cool with U17. I went to a couple camps. I went to Sweden, went to Prague, which was really amazing opportunities to get to travel the world to play a sport, which was really, really fun. And then after my freshman year, I got invited to the U20 national team training camp, which was amazing. It was such a great opportunity. I always love getting to play with these girls. I mean, some of these girls I've been in and out of national team for a handful of years now. So it's just cool getting to see these girls and play at that different level and, get to wear the crest, like represent my country. That's, a dream of every girl that plays soccer growing up. And so that's really was amazing. But yeah, those opportunities are always incredible. And, that's obviously continuing to be my goals to one day get back into that. Obviously the injury kind of messed with that time frame a little bit, but I mean, that's just a part of the journey. But no, those camps and being even a part of that program is honestly an honor.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned when you were part of those programs, you went to all these like different European countries. Did you have a favorite one that stood out to you?
Probably Prague. Prague was really, really pretty. And we got to kind of walk around and tour it, which was pretty cool. And my mom and my grandma came, which was really fun. So I got to see them there. It's kind of hard because when you go to these camps or you go to play these games and stuff, you're in an amazing country and you want to tour and visit and do all these things. But, at the end of the day, you're there to play soccer. So can't get too distracted.
Right. No, I've always heard excellent things about Prague. I haven't been there myself, but I've had friends that went there. My dad went there when he was in college, and everyone's had these glowing reviews. So I'm glad someone else thinks it's great too.
Yeah, it is beautiful. It was awesome.
And so I guess kind of, switching gears to, Texas Tech. I mean, you play alongside like some great athletes, like what, but more, no, I guess more importantly, but you're playing along seasoned veterans like Ashley Williams and Alex Kerr. Like, what's it been like playing with veterans like them?
It's awesome. I mean, Alex obviously is a fifth year coming from a big SEC school, Vanderbilt. Um, you can just tell by her play, she's experienced, not only just as a player, but also as a person. So having someone like that in your locker room is really awesome. Someone who's just mature on and off the field. And you can just too tell by the way that she plays, her decision making on the ball, the speed of her play. It's really awesome, and it's really fun to play with someone like that. So that's really awesome. And obviously me and Ashley, we're the same age, so we got to play together our freshman year together, so kind of build that relationship on the field. And then obviously she played last year and I didn't, but it's been so fun getting to get back on the field with her. And I think me and her, even since my freshman year, we kind of have this connection on the ball. She gets on the end of a lot of my crosses, and she's just a fighter in the box. Like, she finds the ball, she puts it in the back of the net. So it's fun having someone on the field who is willing to throw their body on the line to get the ball in the back of the net. So it's been fun.
Yeah, for sure. And so those are obviously, the veterans, with as far as we're talking about forwards, but you seem to be kind of the leader on the defense. And so what's that been like, kind of stepping up to be that leader on defense?
Yeah. I mean, obviously we have Hannah Anderson, who's our captain center back. So having a leader like that in our back line that I'm able to just watch and grow from and learn from is such a blessing. She's not only an incredible soccer player, but she's an incredible person as well. She's one of my best friends. So kind of just getting to learn from her has been really cool. And then also kind of myself too, stepping into, being a junior, stepping into a leadership role kind of on the back line a little bit and just a little bit on the team has been really fun. Obviously, it kind of calls to a little bit of a higher standard, which isn't bad. I mean, I love the I like that. So it's fun. I mean, we have so many incredible leaders on our team, which is such a cool thing about our culture in tech. You know, it's easy to want to compete, and it's easy to want to fight for these girls and to want to kind of pull it together. But I mean, it's definitely been a little bit different this year, having stepping into a little bit more of a leadership role. But like I said, when you have such an incredible team and girls who love each other so much, it's so easy. And it's like, it's almost just like fun. It's like, I almost don't even feel like I'm even leading because everyone is wanting to compete so much and wanting to win. I think our team has a really good dynamic of, knowing when to step up and when to lead, but as well knowing when to, be a follower and, listen to some of the upperclassmen and some of the older people. But it's really cool. I think something too, another sidebar about our team is age doesn't necessarily have to matter. You being a leader. I mean, we have freshmen on our team, for example, Sam Courtwright. She's a freshman, but she's already, stepping a little bit into a leadership role. She played majority of our games so far. She's having to step into a little bit of a leadership role for that freshman class, along with Kylie Barr, our left back. She's a sophomore, but, she's having to step into a little bit of a leadership role for the sophomore class and just on the team. So, we call for leadership for a lot of different people in a lot of different areas. So we have a really good team and a lot of girls who are really good at that.
No, I'm wondering, what's it like playing with Maddie White? I mean, she obviously seems very vocal out there on the pitch. I just wanted to get your take on that. What's it like playing with Maddie White?
Maddie White on the field is very competitive. She's one of the most, and this is coming from someone who's insanely competitive as well. So, but she is so competitive, and every time she steps on the field, she wants to win, which I love that. I like, that's one of my favorite things about her. She's obviously insane. Like, probably not probably is by far the best goalkeeper I've ever played with. She's she's so good. It's so comforting knowing that you have someone in the net that you know is gonna like save your butt sometimes, because it's inevitable. Like, teams are gonna have shots, they're gonna have chances. Like, that's the name of the game. But having someone back there who I'm just so confident with and who's just so incredible at what they do is really awesome and really comforting.
And so I guess switching gears. So obviously, when last time you were playing before your injury, the Big 12 looked a lot different as far as teams goes, and now the conference is going through all this realignment. So, like, what are your thoughts on realignment, and are you like looking forward to playing some of these new schools?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a little bit different. I mean, when you commit to a school, you're not just committing to the university, but you're also committing to kind of the conference that you're joining. So obviously it's not what I expected coming into college and, committing to tech, but also too, that's just kind of a part of soccer, and our world and our game is always ever changing. So, you kind of got to be on your toes. But I mean, I'm excited. I love new competition. I'm excited for BYU, UCF, all these new schools like coming in and having good, solid competition. I mean, it's really exciting. I think it's going to be different, but I think we're up for it and we're really excited. It's definitely going to be weird not playing. I mean, we are this year, but eventually UT and OU not being in our conference anymore. That'll definitely be a little weird. I have friends at both of those schools, so that'll be weird not playing them anymore. But I mean, I'm excited. I think, like I said, the new competition and being able to compete against these high level schools, and also too now getting to go to different parts of the country that we weren't able to go to before, like Utah, Florida, that kind of thing. It's exciting. It'll be fun.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think, like, and you even talked about like just how strong chemistry you guys have on the team? Do you think those longer road trips will even build upon that even more, traveling to states like Utah, Florida, Ohio with Cincinnati?
Oh, for sure. We definitely have a lot of fun on the road. Obviously, home games are always fun, but we always have, well, like I said, we're all best friends. Like, we have an insane locker room, the chemistry. We hang out practically 24 hours a day. Like, you normally live with the people that you play with. So, like, you're with them 24/7, pretty much. But so we're all like sisters, but we always have an absolute blast on these away trips. So we're all already saying how excited we are to get to go to Florida and get to go to, Utah, these fun places that, I mean, I don't even know if I've ever been to Utah like before. Maybe like driving through, I don't know if I've ever really been to Utah. So, oh, we're for sure excited. Away trips are a fun time, on the bus, doing silly like karaoke, or, making the freshmen do performances for us, or just like fun stuff, and just having laughs and getting to make memories. I mean, those are the type of things that when you look back on your college experience that you remember, is those fun, silly away trips. And especially when you get big wins out of them, it just makes it even better.
And so you talk about, like, just right there getting big wins. And so you're great on defense, and you led the team in assists. Like, you were top 10 in the Big 12 your freshman year. And so, like, has your play style like always been like that? Or you just find like, or have you just trying to, find different ways to put other players in that position?
I've always been a more offensive player. Um, Growing up, I played forward and then I played center mid, played outside mid, kind of all that stuff. But really, when it came to like middle school, I started playing outside back, and it kind of just immediately just made sense. Like getting to see the whole field, getting to get up, but also play defense. It kind of just, I think when I played in that position, my coach was like, "Yeah, this is your spot. Like you're gonna play here." It's definitely something I've played in for a while, and I love it. Like I absolutely love it. I think getting to college, Tom said that was one of his things that he wanted from me. We Tech has always been really known for their really offensive outside backs and being able to push up. So that's something that he was like, we want that to continue when you get to Tech and when you get to college. So it's really fun. I mean, they let me be creative and they let me be me, which is really exciting. Obviously, being an outside back, I'm in the back line. So being a defender comes first, which, I love playing defense, going 1v1, being a part of that kind of core back line is really fun. But, I do too love getting up and playing that offensive side. So it's fun. I feel like I get to kind of play the flank and get to play both sides of the ball.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm kind of interested, since you are kind of at the age where you like kind of fully understand what it's like to play soccer at a really high level. What were your thoughts on the World Cup this year, the Women's World Cup?
It was definitely exciting. We watched a lot of these games at Walker. We have in our film room, we have like a big couch with our big screen. So a lot of these games were running through. It was kind of hard. We didn't get to watch the games as much as we wanted to because of time change. And we're going through preseason, so it's like I can't really stay up and watch a game at 3 in the morning. But we would always have them running through, kind of and watching them. Obviously, it was really disappointing watching the U.S. and not seeing them make it farther. But I think that's also exciting too. I mean, the U.S. has dominated women's soccer for years and years now, and now you're starting to see other countries kind of rising up to that level and kind of growing in that sense. And to think, okay, well, the US isn't always going to be number one. To me, that's kind of exciting because that's to know, okay, now the standard was here. Now the standard's here. So, going back, regrouping, and I'm excited to see what they pull out. I'm sure we have a lot of veterans that this was probably their last World Cup. So it's going to be a pretty new team, probably younger. So I'm excited. I'm ready to see some new faces and, see what we can do this next year.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm also like interested, like how did you guys like watch those games? Like, was it more kind of just like hanging out, just chilling, watching the game together? Or did you kind of also like, did you and your teammates sort of like observe what these players were doing and try to like learn from them?
Yeah, I mean, I would admit I'm not the best about watching soccer. It's definitely something I'm trying to get better at. When you play it so much, sometimes watching it isn't always the most fun. But definitely the World Cup was really fun. Like I said, we had it playing in like every room, all different games we're playing. And obviously we watched it for fun. You grow up watching it since you're a little girl, the World Cup, the Olympics, all these big tournaments. But I think, as you get, like you said, as you just get older and develop as a player, it's not just watching anymore. Like you're learning, you're seeing, oh, like that's how that level does it, or oh, that's how an outside back plays at that level, or oh, that's the requirements if I want to be at that level, if I want to go to that next level, what I need to do, what I don't need to do. Yeah, I think even as I've gotten older, gotten to college, just grown up and developed as a player, I've realized the importance of watching film and watching soccer and even watching my own film. You learn so much about just your play, and it's weird. It like programs it in your mind, and you're doing something that you've never done before. Oh, because you saw someone else doing it, or you did something once and you're like, oh, what if I just did this? And then you fix it on the field without even realizing what you're doing. But yeah, for sure. I mean, we watched it for fun, but also there was a side of watching it too, kind of learning and growing and seeing what it takes to go to that next level.
Yeah, for sure. And this will be the last question for me. But who's your favorite soccer player? Did you have a favorite soccer player growing up that you just absolutely looked up to?
Oh gosh, honestly, I don't know if I had someone like growing up watching, but I think as I've gotten older, I literally love, especially in the World Cup, Julie Ertz, like watching her. She's a center back for the U.S. She's so fun to watch. I know me and Hannah Anderson, obviously she's a center back, but we always talk about how watching her play is just so fun. Like she just had a kid, came and played in the World Cup. She plays so big, so strong. You know, she's a big believer, which for me is really cool to see how, you can be bold in your faith, even at that next level, and just being in the spotlight and still having that be important to you. And just, I just love everything that she stands for. And she's just a competitor. Like she's feisty, she's fierce, she's so fun to watch. Like she's definitely someone, as I've gotten older in these past couple of years, that has been a real joy to watch play. I'm pretty sure this was her last World Cup, which is sad. And I don't know if she's done with the national team or if that was just her last World Cup, but she's probably one of my favorite players to watch.
Yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, no, that was my last question for me. So thank you so much, Macy, for your time and allowing me to interview you.
Yeah, thank you so much.